Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Budget Hunters TV. I'm Austin, as always. Today, it's not very fun outside. It's cold. And I got to do a little bit of fishing yesterday, but it started raining, and it's going to be freezing rain here in Texas today, so it's a good day to be inside. But, in the spirit of fishing, I was going to show you guys some fishing equipment and give you a little information about it. So, let's talk about it. This is my tackle box backpack thing. It's made by Ugly Stick. I've had it for, I don't know, about a year, I guess. I really like it though, it's a lot of fun. One thing, if you can get a good one, this one is not very good. This is a Berkeley scale, and also has a place to measure your fish. So, put your fish on here. Usually, you hook it through the gill. If it's a bass, something like that, you can always find your spot. Hold it up, and as you pull down, you can see that needle moves based upon how heavy the fish is. And there's a little roller on the back, so you can recalculate the zero, get it back to zero between your fish, because this thing gets off a little bit, which was great, and that's what I used for the longest time to get an idea of how much my fish weighed and how long they were. Unfortunately, they just weren't. It's not the best product out there, so I ended up buying this. Let me get this unhooked. Hooked onto a side of the backpack with one of these kind of deals where it just hooks on. This I bought at Cabela's, but it's actually Field & Stream brand. And this one is a digital pistol grip scale. It's got a little power button, red light comes on, and I think it needs two batteries, but you're able to hold it in your hand, do like this, and you can actually grab the fish by its lip, which has a decent little grip there, and it'll pull up and it'll give you, right on this little LCD screen, it'll give you the weight of your fish. And so this is what I've been using, and this thing's actually pretty good. I've actually enjoyed it. It's not heavy, it's not hard to use, and it's pretty tough. I like it. So those are my scales. Well, the next things you'll need, because hooks can be very tricky sometimes to get out, is a little pair of needle nose pliers. And this just came in a little kit. That was cheap. I think I got them at Field & Stream. And they're great. You know, they're just little cheapo, maybe, I don't know, 4-inch needle nose pliers, which is plenty. So having a pair of these can make all the difference in your fishing trip. What else? I got a bunch of pockets on this thing. These are cool. I got these from SA Company. There's a website that sells fishing apparel. And they're little masks. This one is a bass with the American flag on it. And you just literally pull it over your head. It's one big long tube. And it keeps the sun off your face and off your neck when you're trying to go fish. So, very simple. Pull it down, and pull that over, and it will keep all the sun off your neck. And you can wear it, I wear mine like that, and I wear a hat. And sunscreen is also very important. If you don't wear sunscreen and you're as pale as I am, you're going to get a sunburn. So a little sunscreen goes a long way. What else do we have? Got a lot of stuff in here. If you're able to get live bait's always a great option. These are not. These are Rusty's baby shad, and they're resealable, which if you're going to buy shad, little and these are actual real world fish. You can buy those. They're great for bass. They work really well. Catfish like them. I mean, lots of fish do. But keep a little bag like that. Make sure they're resealable, because if they're not, these start to stink really bad. And so while it's great for catching fish, it's not great for fishermen or fisherwomen, if that's a word. I'm going to say it is. What else? Okay, this is just a, I think this is what this actually goes into. It's its own little pouch. A little holder. It's got a belt clip. If you want to keep it on your person, you can. Some zoom baits. These little salamander baits were actually given to me by a guy that wants me to test them out. These were a gift, so I don't know how much he paid for them. Usually they're just a few dollars. Selling at Bass Pro. This is the Super Salt Plus 6-inch Lizard Cherry Seed, made in the USA by Zoom Bait Company. And these are also resealable. Resealable is a big thing, because a lot of that stuff can get wet and slimy, and it's stuff you don't want leaking around your bag. These are Gary Yamamoto custom baits. These are the Yama Cincos, which I haven't really got a chance to test out yet. I've heard a lot of good things about them, but it's made my tackle bag, and can't wait to see if they work. So that'll be probably the next time I go fishing. I'll give these a shot and see how they work. Yesterday, and I wasn't having very good success, I bought Guggen baits. The Kraken Crawl is, I believe, the name of these, and me and a friend were trying them out, and we rigged them up, and it was, you know, a cooler day. The fish weren't very active, and it was between rainstorms, and a rainstorm blew in and actually chased us off the water. But we didn't have very good luck with them. But I'm not going to say they're bad yet. I'm not going to say they don't work, because they weren't used in the best conditions. So I will try these again, and maybe if these work out, I'll get some other Guggen baits and test them out and see how those work. So moving along, this is Spike It Dip and Glow, and this is garlic lure dye, and it is just a garlic scented liquid for your lures and baits, and because fish can actually smell. Fish can actually be picked up by three things: the scent, the sight, and the sound, which is why they make what they call chatter baits and stuff like that. And I've got one of those, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. What else? Something else in here. These are Gulp Alive Waxies Asticots. I got these at Cabela's, I believe, or Bass Pro Shop, I don't remember. And these are just some little white Waxies Asticots. They look kind of like a grub, and they are scented. They're in liquid, so you have to be careful not to get that all over the place. And I have not had good luck with these yet. I'll try them out when I got some bluegill and stuff I'm going to try to catch in another video that'll probably be coming up within a few weeks or so, and see if those work any better, because I haven't had any luck with them yet. But and then we get into this kind of stuff, which these are what I catch a lot of fish on, so I've had a lot of luck. Now, these are crankbaits. This is a Bill Dance Fat-Free Guppy is the name of it, made by Balmer. And I've caught a lot of bass on this particular lure. And these are what they call treble hooks, because there's three. And there's double treble hooks. And these little fins, based upon the size and the width of the fin, actually cause it to dive further into the water, based upon how big it is and how long the fin is. And so if you ever see that, you'll know what that is. And then you have little guys like these, little road runners, which then it has a little reflector spinner deal on it. And it's got a hook in there, so I'm trying not to stab myself. It's not a very big hook. You can catch little bass and stuff on these, and they're great. And you also get some that look kind of similar to that, but it's got a little treble hook, a little spinner, something to flash as it goes in the water, and those also work really well. And let's see, we've got bobbers, and they come in every shape and size. There's 1,000 different bobbers of all different kinds. And then you get into top water, and you'll see that there is no fin on the front of this one, which means it is meant to be popped along the top of the water. A lot of people call these poppers for that reason, and they're actually pretty good. It depends on where the fish are that day, which there's a lot of factors that go into that, so we'll discuss those another time. Another thing that I recently got into, I haven't really had a chance to play with them here lately, but I have caught fish on them plenty of times, are frogs. And these are little frogs. As you can see, these feet are actually separated, and as it goes through the water, if you do a nice slow reel, it actually kicks its feet. And black is great for nighttime. If you're going to be night fishing, black is really good. I've also got clear with a yellow skirt on it. Got more of a natural looking green, which underbelly is more important than the top. A lot of people think, oh, the top makes the thing. Well, if you have to think about from a fish, they're going to be looking up. So that's the point that needs to be prevalent. Right here, so the white one with white and gray. It's got red eyes, red, black, and gold. But little skirt, a little more action, keeps the fish interested. And got a threader, which we'll talk about in another video. Moving on. Yes, I keep a lot of stuff in my tackle box. I use all this stuff most of the time. Certain things are for certain situations and certain fish. Not everything works for every fish. And yes, they do get tangled up because there's a lot of hooks. A lot of things to get hooked. So you always want to be very careful when you're messing with your lures, because are sharp and they don't care what they hook. They will hook you or they'll hook a fish. This is a little bit of an older lure, but you can hear that rattling sound, which is actually great. Fish actually like the sound, and it actually attracts them. One more thing to help you out. And I've got the same kind of setup. These are different brands of different kinds and colors based on water clarity. And you get some that are striped with the yellow and the brown, which are great. Like I said, the tops don't matter a whole lot. And I've got a clear one, and they rattle around. Then you have what's called swim lures, which are great. This one's got a little diver on it. The string is pinned this to it. I'll put that on later. But there's actually a double treble, one here and one here. It's got a little swimmer, so it's saying swims at a certain depth based on big bed is what we're talking about. This one's going to be a little shallower. This one with a smaller fin, shallower depths. And everything's super balanced out. This one dives a little bit deeper. Also makes a little bit of noise in the water, which is good. Get a chance to use those, go for it. This is a spinnerbait fish, because these things spin around and they flash as they go through the water. It's got a little black and a blue skirt. Caught a few bass on this. It's a little bit bigger. You can catch some smaller fish on it, but it's mainly going to be for bigger bass. It's not really much for catfish, which I don't really have a lot of catfish and stuff right now. And this I just picked up not that long ago, a couple weeks ago, and I actually took it out and tested it yesterday. It is a swim bait, but it is in sections, and so when it goes through the water, it actually swims as it goes along, which I actually got to test out, and actually caught a bass on this yesterday. It was a small bass, but it wasn't much bigger than the bait, but it was a bass, and it helped, and it caught it. So I was happy about that. Then you have little jigs, and it's kind of like the chatterbait type of thing I was talking about. This thing goes through the water, makes sound, and it flashes around. It's tension. Then you have just more of your standard jig, where it's just going to be bouncing this around, usually towards the on the bottom, and get it in front of the fish's mouth when it's hungry, and you'll be in luck. That triggers his attack mode. And these little bag of jewelry right here are called split shot, and they are a weight. They're very lightweight. They weigh very little. Let's see if it says. Let's see. But they don't weigh very much, but they're really great. They're easy. They have a little duck bill on the back and a crease on the front. Pinch the duck bill and the crease opens up. It's got little teeth in there, tool teeth, and you should be repairing using those pliers. Pinch once you've got your line in, and pinch it down to your line. It doesn't move, and so it's great for especially if it's a little windy or you're fishing pretty light tackle, light bait of some kind. Always great to have. Some people just pinch on the line real quick. I used some of these yesterday, and they work great. I've used them for many years. It's the best things you can have. And they usually they're very cheap. They don't cost a whole lot of money. None of this stuff does. None of it's very expensive. And then you have sliders. These are different type of weight, a little bit heavier. They're a little bit beefier. And you can see this has got a hole that runs right through the middle. And it's to slide for different actions. And you're going to have various sizes of hooks based upon the type of fish you're catching. And these are barbed hooks. In certain areas, barbed hooks are not allowed. Just check your local laws. There's a little tiny barb right there, right in front of my finger, that when it goes through the fish's mouth keeps it from backing out. If you're good. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And there's going to be smaller hooks. This one's these are crooked little hooks. Used for crappie and things like that, a little smaller, quite a bit smaller. And then you have bigger hooks where you're getting into your catfish and things like that. You're going to need a bigger hook because you get a big enough fish, they will straighten out a hook. It happens. It's not common, but it can happen. And these little boxes actually came with this bag, and they're great. One, because right here on the top, if you can see, if you do metric, it has metric. If you do this customary, it's got that too. It's got your measurements. And based upon where you're fishing and which type of fish you're fishing for, there are rules as to what you can keep based upon length. And there may be some that are weight, I don't know, that I've seen, but it's usually based upon the length of the fish, if you're able to take it home and cook it, or if you have to throw it back. And so knowing your fish and following all your laws and knowing your laws is very important for where you're fishing and what type of fish you're going to be fishing for and catching. So know your laws and try to obey them, because it's stuff you don't want to get into. I think that's about it. Yep. Okay, so we have made it through my fishing tackle. And I do buy blood dough balls, and I catch grasshoppers and use chicken livers and things like that. And if you guys want to see that kind of stuff, if you want to see specific type of bait for specific type of fish, let me know. This is mostly bass equipment, which is kind of what I've been fishing for a lot here lately, is largemouth bass. So if you guys want to see more catfishing stuff, I do have catfishing stuff. We can get into that and talk about different things like that. But those are you have lots of options out there that you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money doing it. There's a lot of cheap lures. I get a lot of my lures, at Walmart or Academy, because they're a lot cheaper than Bass Pro can be. But yeah, I hope you learned something, and let me know if there's something else you want to see. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.